Call of Duty.
Hey.
Those two words with "of" in between them
Okay, good save.
bring joy and love to every American's heart. Now Microsoft owns it. Wha-bam! That's
Well,
my intro.
in a year they might own it.
In a year, if the government says it's okay and that they're not slowly but surely becoming the company from the Lego movie, it's okay for them to buy it. That's the point we're
Yeah.
at. Microsoft's making moves.
They are. I mean, I said this in my video on all this, like the real, I think, legacy of Phil Spencer at this point is not necessarily like that he was a crazy visionary in terms of gaming or the platforms. I think he's done great things with Game Pass and everything, but I think the key takeaway is his strength has been in convincing the upper leadership of Microsoft to take gaming seriously. Specifically, Satya Nadella, who's the CEO of Microsoft, he is the one that has to approve all these crazy, huge acquisitions and purchases, spending billions of dollars. And Phil Spencer has gotten on his good side and is now somebody that he apparently trusts so much that he's willing to spend $70 billion if Phil Spencer thinks it's a good idea. And that is pretty amazing because up until very recently, like Microsoft always kind of looked at the Xbox division as like, okay, guys, you guys are weird and crazy, but stay over there. You smell weird. But now it's like mainstream within the company. It's pretty impressive.
Well, I have to say, oh, excuse me. As a person that mostly hates everything Activision Blizzard puts out, this is fine. I mean, Overwatch 2 is coming, which I'm kind of excited for, but I'm not going to touch anything else. I hate Call of Duty. I hate Warzone. I don't like World of Warcraft that much. Just, you know what? Just not for me. I miss the days when they made crappy superhero games or really good superhero games like Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 2. But still, 68 something $billion, a lot of money. In fact, I think it's like someone was showing like the market cap for other companies, and this was like almost the biggest one Microsoft could purchase, right? This is like enormous.
Yeah, no, it's a huge company. I mean, short of like going after Sony, which they can't actually do, this is I mean, it's a big deal. I mean, even now if I just pull up EA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it
EA's
sounded
market
like
cap.
to me. I wasn't a jab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
EA's market cap right now is 39.9 billion. So for that same price, they could pick up EA, which, I mean, you think about it, just like comparing franchises, EA has Madden and FIFA and those big games. They also have Battlefield, but that's been kind of struggling recently. As for other big companies like Take-Two Interactive has been really trying to push themselves recently, picking up Zynga for like $12 billion. We'll see if that closes. I think it will. But their market cap is under $20 billion. So Activision Blizzard is just about one of the biggest. And the reason it's huge is because, of course, they have like amazing franchises like WoW and Call of Duty probably being the biggest. And in that, there's a lot of power. And, you know, I think the big question a lot of people have is whether or not something like Call of Duty is going to become exclusive to Xbox or exclusive to Game Pass. And I understand why it's a question, but I also am like, are you thick, man? Are you thick? In the words of Cammy's home tongue. Thick. It's like they're spending $70 billion.
Yeah, they're not spending 70. They're not spending it to lock it away.
Yeah, imagine spending that cash. Like, put it in our realm. Like you spend $2,000 on like a really awesome, I don't know what people spend, like gaming PC. Let's just say that, like a really nice gaming PC for 2 grand. And then you go and you're like, great, you set up on your desk, it looks awesome. And then you pull up your phone and you start playing mobile games. Like, no, you buy something so you can use it, so you can apply it in a way that you benefit from. You don't do that and then completely shift focus and do something else. So while some people are like, well, they're going to keep putting it on PlayStation because they can make money from PlayStation gamers. Isn't that brilliant? It's like, well, yeah, you could make cash from that. But what I would compare it to is like Apple spends tens of billions of dollars on R&D for all sorts of tech. If they were to release those patents or sell that technology to Android manufacturers, could they make some cash from that? Sure. But there is an actual benefit and value in not doing that and keeping it exclusive, which is, I think, where a lot of, I guess, the Sony pony types are missing like it's the gap in how they're thinking about this, because there is a value in exclusivity that has a monetary value, where Call of Duty being exclusive to Xbox, that is worth a lot of money because it's going to drive a lot of Call of Duty people to just buy an Xbox instead of their PlayStation, because for a lot of Call of Duty players, that's the only game they play. So I mean, the other question being like, are they going to take something like World of Warcraft or these other games? Are they going to restructure the monetization packages so like there aren't monthly subscriptions and it's all based on Game Pass
Oh, that'd be
membership? I think that
awesome.
could be really interesting. Like instead of a, I don't know what it costs to play WoW. Do any of you guys know?
No idea. Last time I played it for free for a little bit, and I just couldn't get into it.
I think it's like weirdly expensive. I think it was like $40
Hmm.
for like a 3 month period, something like that.
Yeah, that's kind
Um,
of odd.
but if
It's
they
$15 per month.
15 a month just for
Mm.
WoW. So imagine
Yeah.
if it's lumped into Game Pass, you get WoW and everything else in Game Pass for that flat fee.
Oh my
Like
God, does this
it's
mean that
crazy.
are they going to take down BattleNet? Because I hate BattleNet. I almost
They
hate
very well
BattleNet
could, yeah.
more than that is the worst like launcher thing. Almost as bad as Ubisoft's. But here's my question. It makes sense to make mainline Call of Duty games exclusive. Just like if you bought EA to make mainline Madden games exclusive. But what about their like live service game like what's it called? Warzone? Because I don't see, as much as I want to say like it's possible they don't go full exclusive with the Call of Duty stuff, because I don't see them, like, I think that cash that they could get from that from a yearly released Call of Duty game could be pretty big. But Warzone has to be like a completely different situation, because if you make that exclusive, you're pulling away the ability to play that game that people are already playing from other platforms, which I don't, which that's just a PR nightmare, plain and simple. So I don't see that happening as much, but I mean it's feasible at least that they could pull some stuff away. Who knows?
Hmm. I understand that absolutely. um for sure. I mean, I think while they won't like remove something like Warzone from PlayStation, I think what they would do is they would just kind of phase it out and then do Warzone 2, or they'll rebrand it in some way. Um, and then that is exclusive. And then they'll quietly shut down the previous version. And so it's exclusive, but they didn't remove it from any big stores. Um, and the other thing to remember, like people are freaking out now, but again, like the deal isn't expected to close until probably next May. So we're like a year and a half out from this actually closing. And even then, there's questions of whether or not it will close because regulators are going to keep an eye on it. And after that, they acquire them there's at least a year or two of restructuring and swapping out executives and rebranding stuff before actual changes start to follow through. So just because it sounds really bombastic right now, realistically, you won't see the effects of this for another 2-3 years, just to be completely honest.
Yeah. If they do, if they get busted, if they go, no, Microsoft, in fact, that Bethesda thing you did for $7 billion, that was actually too much, and then they bust them apart.
Remember
Microsoft
when we thought
becomes,
that was ridiculously big? We were
oh yeah,
$7.5 billion. Yeah.
now it's
Phil
more
Spencer's
money
like,
than any
just
human
wait.
being will see. Like only
Yeah.
weird alien robot people, like the Facebook guy, whatever his name is,
Mark
Craig,
Zuckerberg.
Sweet baby Ray's.
Sweet Baby
Sweet
Ray,
baby Ray.
Sweet Baby Ray
Sweet
the
baby Ray's.
billionaire.
I do have some Sweet Baby Ray's in my fridge. I put it on some
Yeah,
brisket the other day.
did
Very
you
good.
post it on Twitter? It's you with a gigantic tub of Sweet Baby. It's not a bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's.
No,
It is a
I
tub.
just I just sent that to my my brothers, but I will show it to all of you so you can
Luke's gonna show you
appreciate
his
it.
Sweet Baby Ray's. This is what they should have bought. But on
I'm
that
gonna show
same
you my
note,
Sweet Baby Ray.
if they were to bust them apart,
Yeah.
that'd be kind of neat.
It's a
Whoa!
huge jug of Sweet Baby Ray's. It's
Just
about
me
time.
Look at
Sweet
that
Baby
joy
Ray's.
on his
silently
face.
Googling Sweet Baby Ray's in the corner just so I know what it
He's
is.
like, what the hell are they talking? It's a meme because Zuckerberg, he was barbecuing and then he kept being like, we're gonna put some Sweet Baby Ray's on this stuff here in just a minute.
Yep.
And
Oh, I
it was
see.
perfect.
It is really good. That's probably the
I've said
most human
before,
he's ever seen.
like I've said before, I think Zuckerberg is a genuinely nice guy. Like we can point to like, well, he invades your privacy and stuff, and like he's just a dork. And I'm sure others in his company are like, yes, we will seize their privacy and we will sell it to advertisers and stuff. But I think he's just a dork who happens to be worth tens of billions of dollars. You watch him hang out with his friends and barbecue, and he just seems like a nice guy. And then he's like, sweet baby Ray, sweet baby Ray's. I'm not one of those people that's like, he's a billionaire, therefore he eats babies. Like, or like, no joke, one of, I won't say who, one of our kind of extended family members, unironically, this was like a month or two ago, but unironically brought up like the adrenochrome um
Oh,
conspiracy theory where like they think that wealthy and powerful people get their power by worshiping Satan and then drinking like the blood of terrified children because the adrenaline in the blood makes them live longer, which is funny because a lot of really wealthy, powerful people seem to die just as young as
yeah.
non Satan worshiping baby eating people.
Also, isn't
Uh,
the adrenaline gland bigger on bigger humans? So wouldn't
you
you want
would
to get
think,
them
yeah, but
scared?
well, that's why it's about like the shock value of it being children because
Oh,
children are easier to scare, Jacob.
The
So
quality, not the quantity.
yeah,
that's
see,
true.
you're thinking like a poor person. You got to think like a billionaire.
That's
Okay.
right.
Like,
I got to take a
yeah.
munch out of a baby.
Yeah, obviously. But like that's how like demonized some people view the hyper wealthy and powerful. I'm just not like that. Like I've met very wealthy people. I've met billionaires. I've spent extended periods of time with billionaires. And they're just like us. Like yeah, they might be bombastic, they might be dicks in some cases. Other times they're just genuinely sweet people who happen to be worth a lot of money. And in Zuckerberg's case, he just seems like a dork that I knew in high school who made something that ended up being worth a ton of money. And he's like, well, yeah, I just like Sweet Baby Ray's, which is like
he's
one of the
probably changed
crappiest
a lot.
barbecue sauces ever.
He has probably changed a lot. You do know how
His
like
hair's gotten
Facebook
even
came
better.
about. Yeah, well, you know how Facebook came about, right? Like what it was in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you've seen The Social Network.
The Social Network with that weird actor who always kind of talks like this and
Jesse
can't
Eisenberg.
maintain a yeah.
Yeah, good actor.
You remember
So,
when he was playing what was the supervillain he was gonna play?
Oh, Lex Luthor in Batman v
Luthor, yeah.
Superman. That was one of the worst movies I've
did
ever
play it.
seen.
It was awful.
It was so bad.
Terrifying.
He's eating Twizzlers the whole time.
Oh, that whole thing. It's in the
Probably
same like
not coming out.
generation as the Amazing Spider-Man stuff when like everybody thought it was so easy to make a good superhero movie and then it's really not. Oh, I miss Sam Raimi.
I miss Sam Raimi too. Hell, I miss James
Yeah.
Gunn. He hasn't released anything in a while.
He's working
Yeah,
on
he
the
got
next
canceled for a
Guardians
bit.
film, right?
I think so,
Yeah,
yeah.
they tried to. You know what? Props to James Gunn. I think he's a good director. But we should probably
It-
wrap up our talks about
yeah,
Activision
anyway.
Blizzard. Hit a pretty hard
Wha-
tangent there.
Like eating
Yeah, a
babies.
pretty hardcore tangent eating babies. Cammy, what about I think the big question a lot of people have, what
Mhm.
about Mr. Bobby? Because that's kind of the big question mark through all of this. Bobby Kotick.
Oh,
Um, what is all that?
Or as he's become
What-
known in many circles, the Swamp Thing.
Many circles.
Many, many circles.
um, well, I mean, okay. Let me do a quick Google. I'll be honest. I'll fill the time by saying when you said Mr. Bobby, I did not know who you meant because I only refer to him in swear words, basically.
That's why I
I
said
was like,
Swamp
who
Thing.
is? And then I was like,
And it connected. Yeah.
oh yeah. I mean, I can't find the. It will take too much time to find the exact quote, but he'll remain in the position until everything goes through May next year. And then word on the street is a little birdie told me that he will probably leave after that and they will report directly to Big Daddy Phil Spencer.
hmm
Yay!
So, yay! That was a very long way of me saying he's not going to be kicked out in the blaze of flames that I think a lot of people want. Personally, I would love if they did the whole Game of Thrones shame walk thing. I think that would be really good. But it's looking more likely that he'll just get a quiet exit after all this is gone through. But you know what? A quiet exit is better than no exit at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At
And
least
it's
he's. No, you go. You go.
oh,
You
I was just gonna say like he I think what's being negotiated is this is sort of his going to be his send off. This is going to be his legacy. Bobby Kotick's entire career has been about mergers and growing the company slowly by just clumping a little bit more on year by year. And to his credit, as a businessman, he's done very well at that. Kind of sold his soul in the process, but he has grown the company to a crazy size. And I think he's like his goal has just been to see this all the way through. And now we're at a point where I think he took over in like 1991. It's been a long time. It's been like 30 years. So he is now just going to see this all the way through, sell it to Microsoft, and be done with it. And while they're saying publicly, like apparently he sent out an email to Activision Blizzard employees saying he was staying on, but like Kimmy said, I think it's going to be just a like they'll close the deal. A month or two will pass by. Bobby will quietly announce he's retiring, and then he'll fade off into the sunset and I'm sure he'll get a decent payout from the merger and everything closing, and he'll just disappear. Like I think it's like Cami said, it's you know better that he's seeing an exit than not. Um, would it be ideal if like he got publicly shamed a little more drastically if he was forced to resign in disgrace? Yeah, I think everybody would prefer that, but better gone this way than not gone at all. So it
Hey
just
man,
is what it is.
you said you took the words nearly out of my mouth. I'm glad I let you go first because I was just gonna be really, really mean for a second
do it.
because he
Do
has
it.
spent 30 years doing all of this and slowly but surely doing all this fantastic stuff from a business point of view and just building up his asshole credits. And boy, oh boy, is it time to check out of that casino. It's time to cash out. get your credits back, if you know what I'm saying. So now instead of getting the big send off as like a hero in the industry, all anyone's gonna know him for is being an asshole and being
And not bad.
stupid in areas. He could be a business genius. He could show up in a textbook or two, but there's always going to be a little asterisk from him not paying enough attention. It's like a fable. This is like an old time fable. It's like he put all that time into that work, but he wasn't paying attention to what was going on around him. In fact, he would cover it up from time to time. So I'm glad he's going off quiet. I'm glad no one's going to know that name in a few years' time, except for in court proceedings. It's good stuff. It's good to see him go.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those questions. I mean, somebody like Bobby does seem legitimately concerned with what his legacy is going to be. I mean, yeah, it's easy for people to just be like, well, you're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Just like go cry yourself a river in a sea of $100 bills. But even the hyper wealthy are concerned with being remembered and what their legacy is going to be. Not everybody is like a Bond villain who is like, yes, I'm going to just do whatever I want and I don't care what anybody thinks of me. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of these people are just that, people. I mean, it's the same reason we all kind of find Elon Musk so funny, is because he talks very candidly about this stuff, whereas most billionaires have been conditioned to be very like stiff and political in how they approach stuff. So I think it's unfortunate that he hasn't been able to do more to kind of turn the company around. But I mean, who knows? Maybe there will be some big gestures over the next year as this deal heads towards the closing table, where they try to make a couple examples of people.
It is
more
Phil
than
Spencer.
likely,
You
yeah.
never know
I mean,
with that guy.
Phil Spencer's very pragmatic. I think part of the negotiation of this deal, like Phil Spencer's looking at it from the perspective of what's best for Xbox, what's best for the gamers, and what's best for Activision Blizzard employees as well. And from his perspective, he's like, well, if we own them, we can run it properly. So that'll be best for the employees. It's going to be good for the gamers. It'll be good for Xbox. But for now, I just need to get the deal closed. And part of that agreement is probably get the deal closed and Bobby gets a quiet exit instead of a big bombastic one. And so maybe that's the deal that had to be struck to get this to go through, is that Bobby gets to retire like he's some sort of hero or legend. But I would guess that the second it closes, he leaves and then they kind of bury him in the history books. Like, there won't be statues of Bobby. There won't be portraits of him all over the offices. Even though, like any other company, like look at Apple. Steve Jobs, like, carried that company from the 90s when it was worth almost nothing and was about to collapse, and he carried it all the way through, grew it to a size it had never been before. Bobby technically did the same exact thing for Activision Blizzard, just through corporate maneuverings instead of like sort of easily memeable, I guess, like visionary things like the iPhone and this. He did it through corporate maneuvers, but he still grew this company to an insane size and should have a positive legacy. But because he did it in such a crappy way and refused to take care of his employees and to hold other people accountable, and he just kind of plugged his ears and blah 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 blah, he's gonna be kind of buried, which is in and of itself kind of amazing and a punishment in and of itself, because anybody else who did this not in a dickish way would be lauded heavily and would have an amazing legacy. Everybody would be talking them up. But this is what he gets.
Yeah. Fuck you, Bob. Anyways, we I guess we can wrap up the news there today, but we do have a special announcement for everyone. We are announcing today brand new press start NFTs. We've partnered with crypto.com and we're all going to be minted. Frame by frame of every podcast will be minted and put out there for people. We're also starting a new brand of MS Paint salamanders. Here's one on
Yeah.
screen.
Because you know, be creative or be angry.
Yeah, yeah. Be
Pick one.
creative or hateful. Like,
I know what I'd choose.
You can hate or
Yeah.
you could create. You know, they say that. You know, they
you know,
say
they do
that.
they say that. And then when I get flack for saying that, I'm just gonna play holier than thou and basically be like, well, you just don't get it.
You realize he's
I'm like,
you realize he's not hating, but he's creating something that will replace him, and then you know that's not the point. The
Yeah.
point is we actually have a real announcement. Fuck Troy Baker.
Yeah, we're announcing an announcement. Next week we'll have details.
You'll
But
see
we've
it
been
next
working on
week.
stuff
Yeah.
while we've been gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been working on stuff while we've been gone. We haven't just been twiddling our thumbs. We have still been meeting and working on stuff. So it's almost ready. And I think you guys will like it. It's not NFTs.
If I ever
could be
were
one
an
day.
NFT.
Oh, you like that?
Truly, I did. Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
bit.
Somebody I posted that little video. I guess Jacob can play it on screen. I created this little thing of Troy Baker as Joel singing "If I Ever Were to Lose You," but clipped with, of course, like an NFT. And then I also did a face tracking thing and put Pennywise's clown makeup onto Troy Baker. But somebody on Twitter commented and is like, "Is that Nakey Jakey?" I was like, "No, what?
It's
No.
a pretty
Like,
Nakey Jakey joke to make. I could see Nakey Jakey making that joke.
It is.
I haven't seen
Yeah.
much of his stuff, but that is a very
maybe."
it's
But I took the
flattering. It
comment
should be
as
good.
thinking that Troy Baker was Nakey Jakey. Like, because
What?
he said, "Is that my boy Nakey Jakey?" I thought he thought that the clip of Troy Baker I showed on screen was
Oh.
Nakey Jakey,
You
and I
think
was
you-
making fun of Nakey Jakey.
No,
was like, what?
no,
No.
That's horribly incorrect. What? You
Yeah,
idiot! No, not you.
Yeah.
The guy.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm very confused as well. Anyway, big announcement next week. Much love, hugs and kisses to all of you. We will see you very shortly.
That's right. Like and subscribe, or we'll deep fake Nakey Jakey's face onto porn.
That's like a plan.
All right.
What, is that a threat?
You have one day.
Or a
Bye, everybody.
promise. Bye.
you have one day. Always give them an ultimatum. Bye.